Hey guys, Prowl 1701 here. Today I'm going to talk about the top 5 classic Doctor Who stories that I want to see updated effects. A couple caveats here. One, I can only pick stories from seasons that haven't come out in the collection range yet, which is a rule I almost broke because I had Horns of Nimon on the list. So I do think Horns of Nimon needs some updated effects. There have been a couple people on YouTube who have done some really good updated effects for Horns of Nimon, and I remember watching them and commenting, if there's just some way I could take that footage and edit it into my box set, because I have seen some good updated effects for it, but it doesn't fall into the rules that I've set forth for the list, so I had to scratch it off. And we're only going to focus on seasons that haven't come out in the collection range yet, and only one story per season. I'm kind of setting this list up as if suddenly they plucked me out of the air and were like, Prowl, we need you to tell us what to do on this collection range we're working on. And I would walk in and be like, of course you do. Yes, that's what I'm here for. We'll knock this out. Don't worry, I'm here to save the day. These are the 5 stories I'd be like, these are the ones that need the updated effects. Let's get to it, fellas. Number 5 on the list is The Pirate Planet. I love The Pirate Planet. It is a phenomenal story. Douglas Adams and Tom Baker go hand in hand together. I absolutely love this story. Some of the effects are a little lacking. Some of the air car scenes are a little lacking. I never liked the lasers. You know, it's just, you just see the little dots they make when they hit things. There's no actual laser beams. We're talking, you know, Day of the Daleks level frustrating. You're not actually getting the laser beams. Plus, I don't really care for the sounds they make, but that's a much lesser problem. I'd much rather them go back and add in some actual laser beams when they're firing their guns, which is a lot in this story. And then I would much prefer some updated effects when the Mourners or the Mentats or whatever they go by in the story version of it, when they're using their psychic powers, I would like them to update those effects, like at the end of part 1 when they basically knock Tom out, or when they're creating force fields and stuff. I'd love some updated effects for that as well. It's just, to me, what would take a story that's already an 8.5 or a 9 out of 10 and just bump it up to a 9.5 or a 10 out of 10. Just those little things to make the execution of the story live up to the story. Number 4 on the list is Underworld, because I've seen someone on YouTube, and I wish I could remember their names. One of the people on YouTube, they're really good. They just, I can't pronounce their username. It begins with a C. It's like C-U-N-N. They're really good, though. They're really, really good. And I believe it's them, I think, that did one for Underworld. But I've seen a YouTube video of Underworld, and it looks really good. They added in some really neat-looking laser blasts that are green, and they really cleaned up the CSO. It looks a lot better. It's greatly improved. And for a story like Underworld, I'll take greatly improved. And these shots for the ship and stuff look good too. So Underworld is one, like, I've always enjoyed the story. I think if you could touch up the CSO and update the effects a little bit, I'm not saying it would be a masterpiece. I'm not even saying it would be a classic, but I think it would be far more enjoyable for a lot of people. Number 3 on the list, this one's a must, Invasion of the Dinosaurs. I think we can all agree Invasion of the Dinosaurs needs some updated effects. I know some people probably like the charm of the original effects, and that's fine. The original version's still going to be on the box set. You know, they don't Star Wars Special Edition it, where you just have to take whatever they've decided to do to it recently. You know, you have the original version there too, but I would love to see Invasion of the Dinosaurs, as long as they really put a budget into it. Don't just, you know, don't just budget do it to where instead of having crappy model dinosaurs, we have crappy CGI dinosaurs. Actually make an honest attempt at it and give us some really good dinosaur effects, because that's a phenomenal story. I love Invasion of the Dinosaurs. It's such a good story. I really enjoyed my very first watch through of it recently. It was really good. So I would love, again, just for some CGI effects to come in and make the execution of the story live up to the actual story. Number 2 on the list, Remembrance of the Daleks. Just some of the effects haven't aged well. A lot of the Dalek laser blasts look weird to me. They just look odd. Like, you can tell it's edited on videotape. It has that certain Star Trek The Next Generation look to it where you can just tell the effects were done on videotape and they don't look as good. The shootout with the Daleks in some places just doesn't look as good. You can really make that opening shot before the intro look even more incredible. It's already good, but it can make it look even better. The scene when the Hand of Omega destroys Skaro, you could really make that look awesome. Again, it's just fine-tuning it. The effect of the Dalek floating up the stairs, you could improve. You could change the scene where it shows McCoy on the ground from the view of the Dalek. I never liked that little green screen it has right there. I never really liked that green look. I'd much rather an updated version of McCoy on the ground with like a modern Dalek eye looking at it. I'd love that a lot better. So yeah, Remembrance to me, it's a good Dalek story. This would just bump it up another point or two. And number one on the list, the one I want the most, Resurrection of the Daleks. I love Resurrection of the Daleks. It's my favorite 80s Dalek story. It just needs some updated effects for some of the from some of the outer space stuff, and then some of the fights, because there's a lot of killing going on in this story. Resurrection has such a high death count. So many people are firing lasers at each other and weapons at each other, and you can update those laser blasts. And I know the scene when the Daleks first break in trying to free Davros, and the military's putting up their resistance. Their guns don't fire, they just make that little sound, and they light up a little, they don't fire. You need to make them fire. I've seen YouTube videos where people have added their own effects in, and it really improves that whole scene. So you really have a lot to work with here, and you can just increase all of those laser blast scenes like they did with Earthshock, with the special edition of Earthshock, where they really increased all the look of the laser blast and made them look better. You could really do that here and make the laser blast look much more intimidating, actually give the human resistance fighters actual effects when they're firing. There's just a lot you can do there. Again, a lot of my choices aren't taking bad stories and making them more watchable. For a lot of my choices are taking good stories and making them even better, making them live up to their potential. Because pretty much all of these I've talked about are good stories to one degree or another. Underworld is a good story in my opinion, but Pirate Planet's great, Invasion of the Dinosaurs is great, Remembrance is great, Resurrection is great. It's just the updated effects would just give them that slight more polish. Slight more polish, that's exactly what they need. So those are the top 5 stories from the criteria that I set forth. Only from seasons that haven't been released in the collection range, and only one per season. I'd like to know what you think of my choices and whether you think they need updated effects or not, and which 5 you would choose. Comment down below and let me know. Other things to do, click the like button and the subscribe button and the bell for notifications so you never miss out on another video. I also have a Patreon. If you'll take a moment and check that out, that does help me pay the bills, and I certainly appreciate it. I want to give a shout out to 2 of my top tier patrons, Stephen Crane and Kevin Coney. I don't know why I have so much trouble with his last name. Maybe it's the double C's. Colin Coney, like Coney Island. I appreciate both of their support, as I do the support of all of my patrons. I cannot talk today. Also want to welcome back JLB who has been one of my patrons previously. He just came back recently. It's good to have you back as well, buddy. He's the one who sent me a couple of my UK DVDs I have. I do have a couple UK DVDs. I can't watch them, which he knew ahead of time, but it is nice having them on the shelf down here, and I appreciate that. So if you're interested in becoming one of my patrons, the link to that is down there, as is a link to my Amazon wish list, my Amazon UK wish list, and my P.O. box if there's anything you want to see, I can't talk today. Anything you want to send me. I've got my Last Adventure box set over here that Unknown Don't Trust Numbers sent me recently. I'm going to have it up here for a little bit. It does make a great display piece. And most importantly, thank you for watching.